Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Scenes and Convos, where we talk about music production, audio production, and moments in between. It's been a good run, so we've been talking about Nowhere's Nostalgia, this series, and man, you guys' response has been amazing. For you that are new to the channel, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, comment, and as we finish up these next few interviews, I want you all to be thinking about some other topics. If you want to hear about some things, whether it's music production or audio production or music theory, just relationship with artists, musicianship, all those type things, hit me up in the comments. So today I'm talking with Javon Dias, and he's talking about his take on I'll See You Again, which is a song that's on the recent EP, Nowhere's Nostalgia. Let's jump into it. What's happening?
What's up, brother?
Here in the land of the living, Doc.
Some of us didn't make it. Well, I'm glad we made it, Doc.
Don't start now. Don't start nothing.
Come on, man. Everything is going good, man. I'm looking forward to continuing to be better and just the community and just with those that I meet, man, and just pray that God just aligns my path with His will, and there we go. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Go for it. Yes, sir.
So you a father?
I'm a father of one.
Yeah.
right now, currently. Yeah, man. My daughter's birthday was me and my wife. We celebrated my daughter's birthday. She just turned 1, so that means I've been a father for 1 year. So congrats to me. Made it
All right.
through.
You made it, man.
So I'm just now getting started, man. So
Right. Nah, that's a beautiful thing, man.
yeah, cool.
I know with what we do, it's always hard to navigate just life, family, and then compartmentalizing time, all of that type of stuff. So how has that been for you, man? Because it's always a challenge for me. But first year, how's it been, man?
Man, first year when we first started out was a little bit rough. Due to me and my wife, we live here in here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we don't have like grandparents. Our parents don't live here; they live like back home, which is New York and Jersey.
Right.
So it took us a little minute to balance out like our work schedule with taking care of pretty much taking care of our daughter,
Right.
and just balancing like church, gigs, new opportunities, jobs. Like I had to work, like last year I had to work like an overnight job just to keep the wheels rolling, while my wife recovered and stuff like that. So it was this year was when it comes to being a father, man, it was definitely a big switch. And this switch is not a lane where you can like for me, it wasn't something where I could just navigate. I knew how to kind of maneuver things. It was just like, all right, we in and let's figure it out, man. So yeah, man, it's been 1 year and it's cool, man. I've been able to balance everything out with actually having luckily with having my daughter here, due to with pretty much just having the community of people just wanting to take care of my daughter and kind of watch her while me and my wife work and stuff like that. So it's been cool, man. It's been cool.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, shifting gears a little bit, like when I first moved to Atlanta, I wasn't really in Atlanta. I was still doing the back and forth thing. And good friend of ours, he introduced me to you guys and started playing with y'all at the Douglasville campus at EBC. And I vet everything I do, or at least try to. So I'm like, I don't know these dudes, but I'm like, these young cats, man, they killing, but I'm like, I don't know them. So before I came to a rehearsal, I hit up a friend of mine, mutual friend of ours, Sarai Butler, and he was like, man, you playing with Javon? He's like, bro, He said, that dude can play some drums. And it was the way he said it. I was like, okay, all right, okay. But then we got in that rehearsal. I was saying it the same way. I'm like, this dude can for like it's one thing to play, but it's like another thing where you are so intentional about setting up things. And I remember that and like every time we play together now, it's like that's one thing I love about how you play, the way you set up the sections. It's almost like you are with the drums being like a sound effect, a transitional sound effect. We done a gospel live session, and then I called you to do the song called "I'll See You Again," which is like a folk, kind of like a folk vibe with acoustic guitar and that type thing. Just with your background in production and recording and things like that, um, what was your approach? What was your thought process when you heard the song? Like, how did you go about, you know, recording it? But just take me through that process from A to Z,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, so pretty much, man. I appreciate everything you said, man, about just just being intentional and everything. It took me a while to actually get to that place to understand like music like that,
Hmm.
especially like with my background growing up in church, just playing under the anointing. You know what I'm saying? We don't gotta worry about and we don't gotta worry about any special hits. You just gotta just play in the spirit and you good. But um, with music evolving in church, kind of like changing like the way music sounds and certain things with playing drums like, you have to kind of be in the music and intentional
Yeah.
but with this track, man, when you sent it to me, man, I was immediately the song was just about like I just was thinking about like touch and tone like a lot of touch and tone and just feel, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Making sure it felt good. Also with I made sure kind of like I like to tune my drums like periodically, like in the studio if I'm recording and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I'm not like too anal about it, but I'll make sure my drums are tuned like to a good level so at like when I'm actually recording and sending out files, like my drums actually do sound somewhat like good. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's another factor that has to that's another factor that happened for me too. But yeah, I really was just kind of just wanted to be a part of the music, like playing with the music instead of playing against it. I did my thing on there and you liked it. So
Yeah. So you mentioned tuning. Are you one of those that like tune to the key of the song?
no, no, no. I'm more of like a I kind of use my ears for tuning, like like I don't really do note for note. I'm not. I think that's something that you can practice and develop over a period of time, but I'm still working on that. So what I'll do is I'll get my toms or I'll get my tuning just like around like in a note where it's not too sharp or too flat.
Got you.
So they sound pretty good. Like they sound decent. I feel like when it comes to tuning, your drums don't have to be perfect either because if you when you think about it, like having your drum sounding good is definitely important, but if it's a little pitchy or something like that, you got to remember too, like when those guys or if you're recording, say that like now we're recording, by the time they send this off, they're gonna put an EQ on the drums. They're
Hmm.
gonna do maybe a drum replacement. They're gonna do a lot of different things to change the way like you tune your drums. So if you tune your drums to A flat, by the time you hit a record, it might be F sharp. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it
Right.
all depends. That's just the way I'm thinking about it. But
Yeah, no, I got you. What do you
yeah,
think about? Because like for me, in the post production process, I did more layering than
mm,
replacing. I don't technically like to replace any of the shells unless it's unbearable. I
mhm,
do more layering. So in this video, I'm not going to like spend a lot of time going through every single channel. I just want to do like a broad stroke on this particular video. There are previous videos where I got real detail in, what I was doing with individual each individual channel. But I just want to focus on a couple of things. This drum capture was unique because Javon and I normally work on a lot of gospel records together. But this song was very, very simplistic, and there are some things that I had to make sure of, to make sure that every instrument is being heard, because it's simple, but at the same time there's space where things should sustain and things shouldn't sustain. One thing I want to note is I had to use a transient shaper for the toms. The toms sound great, but just in order to make sure that they come out the way they're supposed to, I used a transient shaper. So what this does is you can change the sustain of your instrument or your signal. When it comes in, you can give it more attack. And this kilohertz, or kilohertz rather, transient designer, I typically use for things such as this. I use it on kicks as well. You can see it on the kick, where I just wanted like kind of more of a tight thud of the kick, but not something that sustained. But I did want it to sustain in the reverb, which you kind of hear, especially when he's hitting those kicks on the one, and that allows for the reverb to resonate. And then, of course, you can see everything else is pretty much my normal, doing some subtractive EQ, filtering on the ride overheads, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. This year, just a little bit of it isolated. Let's go over here to where so we got the brushes going here. And let me go to a section where the toms are present, and so you can hear what I did with the toms. Right, so the toms are good, right? They sing, but they were singing a little too much. So I just again tamed that sustain on the toms, just to give it so you could hear the individual toms without the other one ringing over the other. And definitely don't want it to cut off too quick, because then it sounds like something's missing. So this is the part where you have to make decisions as producer to make sure that everything sings like it should. All right. So play it in context. Yep, and that's it. Great job well done, Javon Dias. What's your thought on the, replacing the shells, the kick, the snare, the toms?
I think if it works for the song and for the mix, I think it sounds great.
Mm.
Like I'm not opposed to any replacement, because I'm a producer myself. Like, sampling. Like, there's certain things that I do that, what I'm saying, you would think it's a real drum, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like a
Yeah.
it's just, I feel like it's all a part of production. So that's more of like a personal preference to me.
Gotcha.
But for this song, I love the way the mix sound. I love the way the drums sound. Yeah, you love it, man. So
Yeah.
we about it and we discussing it. So
Right.
this this is something to talk about, Doc.
I had to kind of shift gears as far as like this year because I don't feel like I gave enough energy and effort to bringing awareness to the project. So that's why I'm doing these interviews just to have people to come inside to the world and the mindset of like what we're doing. How do we come up with these things? You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
if I could absolutely be in this room all day and not talk about anything, but be doing some crazy, ridiculous stuff. And then I put it out, then there's no dialogue about it. It's like, what were you thinking in that moment? And I think for me as a producer, what that when I hear like the mindset of like what the person was actually thinking about when they came up with whatever, whether if it was a roll or a swell, why did you place that swell there? Like to me, those type of things mean a lot in production because it's like you're listening. You're not just playing the instrument. Like you're
yeah,
listening to what's going on.
yeah. There's another thing I want to say too, man. Like, with me, like, just I'm learning every day as I go, man. There's actually an art to studying music too. Like, there's a way to basically like allow yourself to hear sonically like what's happening,
Mhm.
like because sometimes like I ain't gonna lie. I've played a lot of stuff where I'm like, I'll play a song once or twice, and then
Mhm.
I'll play it back a third time. I'm like, wait, that was there the whole time. Like, well, I never heard that until you know. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's like learning when when you're trying to, I guess, develop a feel of how to learn a song. It's really like you have to sit still and really listen carefully, like what's happening and stuff like that in the music, because that's when you're gonna be able to do a swell, and it's gonna be like right exactly where you need it to be, and also timing too. Like with drummers, like there's just a way to um there's a way like there's so playing on a click is playing on a click. Like I feel like as a drummer, you have to be able to play on a click to a certain extent, but
Mhm.
the recording aspect, like playing on a click, is very, very important because sometimes on certain songs you have to play within the click, and sometimes you have to play like above it a little bit, and then sometimes you got to sit right on it. So it's like that thing versus like the sonics. It's an art to it.
It
It's a
is.
real art to really sitting behind the drums. Like I know a lot of people play it, but if you hear a drummer that's really smacking, like
Mhm.
it took him a while to get like that. Like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Attention to detail, man. 2025, what is it looking like, man?
Man, 2025, man, we going up. I'm getting ready to drop some music. I got a song that's called "Make It." I think it's gonna be called "Make It." I don't know. It might be "You're Gonna Make It," but I'm getting ready to release that. I'm working on it right
I
now.
like make it. I'm gonna just throw that
Yeah, I
out
like "Make It." Yeah, it might be it. Hey, come on, prophesy, Doc. Come on.
there. I like it,
I'm lifting my hands, sir. Come on. But yeah, it's gonna be called "Make It," and yeah, it's gonna be a dope song. I'm actually singing on it, playing on it, doing the production on it, and yeah, man, it's just a song to encourage everybody out there that pretty much life is just a test, and
Right.
we gonna let God do the rest. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Oh, I
yeah,
like that,
it's gonna be
man.
cool. Yes, sir, man.
Indeed, man. Well, privilege, man. Glad I know you, man. Glad we have this working relationship and you're a brother. You're not just
Yes,
a,
sir.
a musician and you like a brother. So yeah, let's keep it going, man. 2025.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the opportunity to play on the song and also be a part of this, whatever you're doing, man. So I appreciate it, bro.
All right, cool. Another great episode. Look, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for liking. Thank you guys for talking about it. Thank you guys for your support. Continue to tell your friends about this channel and what we're talking about and what we're bringing awareness to. Again, we are musicians, we are audio engineers, we are producers, and a lot of times we don't have this outlet or platform to communicate our process. So here it is. All right. So thank you again for watching. See you next time.